fact, both you and me are participating in a social experiment with every video of mine that you watch, in every video of mine that I create for you to watch. Just know this. It's easy when you're watching YouTube videos to assume that whatever that person's talking about, they're talking about something they really care about. That's a perception the audience often has. But in reality, for people who've been doing this for years, we know that it doesn't actually work that way. The audience often perceives that the YouTuber is a narcissist and therefore loves to talk about themselves. In reality, behind the scenes, it's the opposite. I don't really want to talk about myself, but if it's that easy to engage people in conversations, using myself as an example, okay, I'll do that. If that's what gets, see, years ago when I started YouTube, I was talking about stuff I really cared about, but then I realized that's not what people want. They want what they're already obsessed with. So, for example, you've noticed on this channel that I can make a whole series comparing myself to what a Spanish person should look like. Now, a lot of people think that I actually care. A lot of people think that I'm insulted by people saying that I'm not Spanish looking enough because of this reason or that reason. And that's great. I want people to believe that if that's their version of reality, but it keeps the whole shtick going. But ultimately, it's all a joke. Like that guy, Silent Bob, he's been watching my videos from the very beginning. He and I never had an arrangement. Hey Bob, why don't you hurl insults at me or whatever, and then I'll make videos and just read them aloud in a comment and make a video on that, and this will be a great team. He and I have never had that conversation, and we never will. But by default, Silent Bob and I have that relationship. All I have to do is look at his newest comment, read it, and then ask the audience that question, and people watch the video. People comment on the video. People will defend me. People will assume that I'm offended, and I want that to happen. Now here's what's funny. If I could talk about what I actually want to talk about, it'd be emotional intelligence. See, here's something I've learned from my audience from being a YouTuber. Most people they fear being perceived as wrong, immoral, or ignorant. They fear that. So when people leave comments, I can't make a video without at least one person implying one of those things about me in every single video. And I realized that's simply a reflection of the people. The people who leave those comments, they themselves are so afraid of being perceived as wrong or ignorant or immoral that they broadcast that by implying that I'm one of those things. But what's funny and ironic is I don't care if I'm perceived as wrong, immoral, or ignorant. It's funny, you'll see a common comment that people leave and they'll say, you should really do your research before making a video about that. Well, because for them, they wouldn't want to be perceived as wrong on the internet. I don't care if I'm perceived as wrong, immoral, or ignorant, because ultimately, that's other people's perceptions of me, their version of reality. People confuse truth and fact all the time. Their perception, they think that's truth, but I'm not concerned with somebody else's version of truth. So I know that. We could arguably say I manipulate that so that I can read off a comment, ask you, am I too whatever to look Spanish, or whatever the topic is. It can be anything. And people will buy into it. Meanwhile, all I really want to talk about is emotional intelligence, how I've figured all this stuff out and how I have control over my own emotions. Most people give their emotional control to other people by what other people say or do or think about them or whatever. They are so afraid, they fear being insulted, disrespected, getting their feelings hurt. I don't care about any of that. So I'm immune to that. That's my superpower. And because of that, I'm able to stand behind the camera, just lazily read comments, make a video, if the channels grow. The channel grows, the videos are watched, they're commented, people are engaged in these videos. And by now, 5 minutes into this video, you're thinking, come on, you can't give away your secret though. Like, you can't do that. People are gonna stop watching your videos. They're going to unsubscribe if they're subscribed. You can't admit what you're doing. Yeah, I can. This video changes nothing. I will, here, I'll put it this way. I'll still do more Spanish, MI2, whatever to be Spanish. People still watch them. What's funny is people are going to read in the comments, hey, but did you see his other video where he admitted it's all? They're not going to care. It's not going to stop them because they're too caught up in whatever their perception of me is to watch this video. I know that this is going to be a much less popular watched video. And if you're the one who carries this over to the other videos, hey, did you watch? Look, here's the link. You actually appear to be the stick in the mud, the party pooper, the one who is not as fun as the rest of them, carrying on this belief that I am an ignorant American, a wrong American, even immoral. Immoral? Yes, because I'm being so honest by telling you how this whole thing works. The reality is, all YouTubers are this way. They just don't admit it. We do make money from the ads. I made thousands of dollars last year between my two channels, and that's just side income that I make in my sleep. We're all creating content that will engage you and addict you. It doesn't matter what we want to talk about. It matters about what you want to watch and what you want to believe. So I openly allow people to believe these things about me because it carries on that character. And even this video will not stop people from watching. It will not ruin my character that I've created. And I've done this in different ways on my other channel too, Nick Shell. That's where I learned the formula and how to do this. But see, this is the entertainment industry, man. This is just YouTube. Do you think Twitter is any different? Do you think Facebook is any different? Do you think TV is any different? The whole goal is to basically answer this question. How little effort can I put into the product and have the most people be engaged and consume it? Well, I've answered that question by this, am I whatever enough to be Spanish? Like, that shows you. Okay, I really did a major experiment that surprised me too. I did a video, it's a very short one, just saying, I believe racism is wrong. Now, that wasn't intended as a joke, but it was intended as an experiment. Obviously, racism is wrong. But I thought, what happens if I make a 1 minute video pointing out the obvious, that racism is wrong? What will happen? Will people immediately say, well, of course it's wrong. Why are you making a video about this? No. Instead, lots of likes, lots of people watched this video and appreciated what I was saying. Now, was that a joke? No. But it was an experiment. It was to say, how does society perceive someone who would say that racism is wrong? See, the fact that I made that video and it wasn't perceived as just completely a joke tells me that society still needs someone to say that racism is wrong because it's not being said enough or implied enough. And honestly, that's why I like making these videos, because we openly talk about race and ethnicity and those things. And it points out people's own perception of the world. It's never about what I think. Who cares what I think? Do I need anybody to agree with me? No, I don't care. I simply present the topic, and then from there I sit back and I watch. How engaging is this? Will I talk about this again? Well, not many people watched, not many people liked. Okay, I won't. I'll just go to the next thing. But see, hey, I recently watched a new episode of Black Mirror. There's one called Smithereen, and it's basically a parody of Facebook, where the creator of this website admits that he never intended for his website to be so addicting. But that's what happens. When you get the notification, it makes you feel special. Oh, somebody liked the photo or the comment, whatever. That makes me feel good. Oh, look, 87 people remembered my birthday today. Oh, wow, well, I feel great. Things like Facebook, they create this concept, this theory, this false truth that these are my friends. And the irony of it is, the reality of it is, people confuse real relationships for what they see on social media. These are my friends. When in reality, you may have people that you actually do know very well but don't associate much on social media. And you get confused on what the real relationship is. And I think it's easy to even for that to happen on YouTube. I'm not the enemy. I know that people want to say that I'm wrong or immoral or whatever for being honest, but that's how these things work. If this were a channel about what I really cared about, I would probably make more videos about this one. But you know what? people aren't going to watch this video. They're going to watch videos, me saying anything that implies that I'm ignorant, wrong, or immoral. I've learned that that's the formula. I learned that's what people respond to. So I say my opinions, and people will take the bait. You're wrong, you're immoral, you're ignorant. And that's exactly what I want to happen. Your comments belong right here. This whole thing is an experiment. Sometimes it's a joke. Sometimes it's an experiment. Sometimes it's a little bit of both. But you'll never remember anything I said, and no one will ever believe you if you talk about this in another video. Because they're so distracted by those other videos that I make. This video never happened, you never watched it, it never existed.